Hello all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samad. So today I would like to do a video about the frequently asked questions that I have been receiving for the UK spouse visa online application process. If you clicked this video, you've probably completed my full series and guide on how to apply for the online application. If you haven't already, definitely watch that. The playlist will be in the description box below. Go ahead and watch that. After I received my visa, I actually received a lot of DMs and a lot of comments with questions about the UK spouse visa process. So in this video, I'd like to condense the most popular ones that I've received, and I will share them with you, and hopefully it will be helpful for you during your online application process. Just FYI guys, this video and also my UK spouse visa guide does not guarantee you a visa. All the information that I'm sharing with you today are based on my own opinions, are based on my research, and also based on my own experience of going through the whole online application process and receiving my visa recently. So it doesn't guarantee anything, however, I hope it can help you through your own process as well. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So the first question that I have been receiving a lot recently is, I paid for priority service. How long will I have to wait to receive my visa? So the priority service timing is actually 25 working days. You have to count the days excluding the weekends until you hear something back about your visa. If your online application is straightforward, you have no issues with your documents, you have no issues with all of the information that you provided, then chances are you will hear back something within 25 working days. Now what that means is, if my biometric appointment is on the 1st of February, I would expect to hear something back around the time of 5th of March, or early March basically. You have to understand that it might not exactly be 25 working days excluding the weekends. It could be before or after. It's not an exact science or anything, but that's going to be more or less the time frame. I received information about my visa after about 28 working days. That's still within the time frame that I would have expected to hear back from Home Office and from VFS. The second question that I've been receiving is, how long do I have to wait if I take the standard service? The standard service is basically the free service that you get when you hand in your passport to get your visa application done. And again, if your application is straightforward and there are no issues at all with the information and documentation that you have provided, then you would have to wait 60 working days, which is more or less 3 months. Now, that is the earliest that you might hear back from Home Office. If there's nothing wrong with your documents and your application, then 60 working days is an approximate time, but I have seen a lot of people have to wait 6 months, even 7, 8 months, and that might be because there is some sort of complication with their application, or they didn't provide enough documentation, or they lied on their application. I don't know. If you don't hear back something after 60 working days, I would recommend that you email Home Office. It's £2 per email, and you can ask them about a status update on your application, and also request that they escalate it, because if there's absolutely nothing wrong with your application and you don't have to worry about a lack of documentation, then you shouldn't have to wait more than 60-70 working days. I would give it a little bit of leeway, maybe give it another week. After 60 working days, if you still haven't heard back, then contact Home Office. The next question is the £18,600 before or after tax? That minimum financial requirement that you have to fulfill is before tax. It will usually show on your pay slips that that is what you get paid per annum, and it has to be before tax. The next question is, do you need a lawyer for the visa application process? I would say no, especially if your application is quite straightforward like mine. I am married to my spouse, and I basically just applied from Malaysia to enter the UK with a spouse visa. I don't have any additional things. I'm just married to my husband and he works here. If you have other stuff, like if you have children, if you are a carer, if one of you is disabled, if you have a criminal record, if you don't have enough money, I don't know, if there is some sort of special case that you have to handle within your application, then you could look into getting a lawyer, although lawyers can be quite expensive. Their services can range between like £600 to like 1,500 depending on your application itself. If you are able to handle it yourself, I would recommend it. But if you need additional help or support, there are visa consultants that you can get free consultation from. Usually they provide like 30 minutes of free consultation and you can call them up and ask them any questions you might have, and they would be quite helpful in answering those questions. I asked a couple of questions from this consultation firm called White Rose, and they were really helpful. I had like 1 or 2 questions or something and I just asked them and they answered everything straightforwardly. I would recommend that if you have any questions. I will link them in the description box below so that you can check them out as well if you have anything pressing that you need to ask. Depending on the person, whether you need a lawyer or not, it's really up to you, but I would say if you have a very straightforward case, then no, you don't need a lawyer, because the online application process isn't easy, but it isn't difficult either. I would say it's just super tedious and super detailed, so just make sure that you double check everything and you don't miss out any documents, any important documents, or misspell anything or get any numbers like account numbers wrong or whatever. So just make sure that you take your time and you check everything one by one and make sure that everything is correct. The next question is, can I scan my documents myself to upload for my online application? The answer is yes, you can. I scanned everything myself and I also downloaded all the PDFs of like bank statements, employment finances, and everything, and it wasn't an issue. So yep, the answer is yes. The next question is, can I use PDFs of bank statements from my bank? Yes, you can. I actually asked the consultant about this, and previously when it wasn't online applications and you had to hand in papers, you would need to get like 6 to 12 months worth of bank statements with the official stamp of the bank. But because right now it is an online application process, you can actually download it from the UK banks, and then just make sure there are details of the banks on the bank statement, your UK spouse's name, address, account number, everything is there available in the PDFs. And yeah, just make sure all the information is on the bank statements and I think you're good. The next question is, can you pause your application and return to it on a later time? The answer is yes, you can. At any time during your online application process, when you are, typing in all of your details, whatever, if you need to pause, you can save your application and then the website will tell you to email a link to your email address. And then when you want to return to your application, you can just go back to your inbox where the email was sent to, click the link in that email, and then it will go back to the UK government website where you have to put in your email and your password, and then it will go back to the section of the application form that you saved and that you stopped at. So don't worry about it. You can pause, you can save everything, and you can return to it on a later time if you need to. The next question is a special one. I wouldn't say that it's a frequently asked question, but I think that it's an interesting one and I will share my opinion about it. I have had 2 speeding tickets. Do I need to include this in my application form as convictions? Okay guys, I'm going to pause this video here because I realized that this question is actually a little bit tricky. In the original comment that was left by a subscriber, she mentioned that you should only add your convictions if you have 3 or more, and I have been scouring the internet for a few hours now trying to look for evidence of whatever her statement was. I've read like blog posts, government articles, lawyer articles, and they all say that you should mention if you have any convictions whatsoever, and if they are like dire convictions, you need to be honest in your application basically. So I don't know where she got this information. It might be on the application form itself, but I haven't found any on the internet whatsoever. I have found more information regarding how pressing the convictions part of the application is. I found this good character guidance by the UK government, and it actually states what type of convictions will actually cause a refusal of your application. And they are quite dire convictions, so like criminal convictions that fall within the sentence-based thresholds, which I assume is imprisonment. Persistent offenders, so if you have a huge number of offenses, most likely get refused. If you have committed an offense that caused serious harm, for example a DUI, and you have harmed someone while you were drunk driving, and if you have ever had sexual offenses, and I think that is self-explanatory. If I was in the situation, I would add the offenses that I have done, like 2 speeding tickets, but I'll also include a cover letter, and I'll also include the details of the speeding ticket and also the receipts of the fines that I have paid off, just to show that I am of good character and I'm a good Samaritan, and I will pay off any fines that I may receive. And I think you can actually get a letter from your government that's kind of like a cover letter from the government that says that you are actually a good citizen. You could include that as well. In all honesty, this is a very difficult question to answer, and I can't answer in confidence due to the fact that there's not much solid answers out there other than information regarding criminality and convictions. I would advise you to maybe, in this case, maybe hire a lawyer, and the lawyer could advise you professionally. I mean, if it were me, I would add it, but I can understand if it's something that's really sensitive to an individual, so sorry, I don't know if this is helpful at all. The next question is, how do you compress your PDFs to 5 MB to be uploaded on VFS Global? I used this website called ilovepdf.com/compress_pdf. I will have it in the description box below. You can use that to compress any PDFs to make it under 5 MB so that it is easily uploaded onto the VFS Global website. It's a free website, so just go ahead and use it. And the last question that I constantly receive is, do I need to include wedding photos, and WhatsApp conversations in my documents? Is my marriage certificate enough? I would say yes, you should definitely include these things as evidence of your relationship. Your marriage certificate may be valid and may be legitimate by law. However, it can also raise suspicions if you just submit a marriage certificate, because what Home Office is looking for is sham marriages, and a lot of the times sham marriages can be performed just for anyone to apply for a UK spouse visa, right? They want you to back up that marriage certificate. So how you can back up that marriage certificate is by providing more evidence of your relationship using photos, or using WhatsApp conversations, or using phone logs, or photos of gifts that you've sent each other over the years, you know, anything that can solidify that your relationship is legitimate. For my application, I included my wedding photos for when we eloped, photos for when we traveled because it proves that we have met each other physically, photos of wedding cards that our friends and family sent to us as congratulations because that proves that everyone knows that we are married and that our close friends and family actually know that we are in a close relationship. And I also included 1 year of WhatsApp conversations, but I did not include like the whole database of like 1 year full of WhatsApp conversations. I actually included 4 screenshots per month to show that we are constantly in conversation and communication with each other while we are away from each other. And I condensed that into a PDF, and then I labeled like each month and whatever. Anyway, I think that is all for now. Those are the 10 questions that I have constantly been receiving in my DMs and in my comments. But if I did miss anything, feel free to comment down below and I will help you as much as possible. I will be making more videos to help with specific things like how to write a sponsor letter or how to compile photos or whatever it is. You can leave suggestions on what videos I can make to help the visa online application process for you be a little bit smoother. Good luck with your online application. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!